1882, our telephone number. SMS 19 677. Email Chris ICHRISI at 6pr.com.au. And it's that time to catch up with the man who knows all about technology, gets excited about it, identified by his numerous Hawaiian shirts. 1L, 2 T's in Aylett. Ben.
That's me. How you going, Chris?
Yeah, good. What's happening, mate?
Oh, mate, I am so tired. I have had one hell of a weekend. It is
one hell of a good weekend or one hell of a, oh, my God, what happened weekend?
It's been a good and a productive weekend. So, yeah, it's been a solid weekend. And, well, we might as well jump straight into it. What do you reckon?
I reckon so. By the way, if you'd like to have a chat with Ben, if your technology is playing up, if you have any questions or anything else that's concerning you, and it happens to be an electronic gadget that has some sort of computer device in it, this is the man who can help you.
Exactly.
And he can do that before you decide, I am going to destroy this without mercy. Meantime,
yes,
our friends at Telstra
Yep.
have given Ben a Galaxy S9.
Yes.
Samsung phone to test out.
Yes, the Samsung Galaxy S9.
I was just having a look at some of the reports on Ben's Facebook page over the weekend.
Yep.
To say that he thinks this phone is excellent, to say he believes it's wonderful, is a bit like saying that a kid thinks Christmas Day is wonderful.
Yep. Yeah, it is. It's got some really interesting features which have just really caught my attention, and I just can't tear myself away from it. So if you've been following me over the weekend, and if you also jump onto my YouTube channel, you'll see that I've spent a bit of time playing with a certain feature on this phone.
The thing that amazes me about the photos, the clarity.
Absolutely.
The ability of it to slow down. I mean, one of the things you did was you picked up the pulsing of lights in a shopping centre because you could slow it down.
Yeah.
That's what happens at 50 hertz, things pulse.
That's right.
But you don't realise it until you have the ability to do that. But the other thing I noticed was you got the clarity all the way through the picture.
Yes.
Now, I suppose at some point we also have to focus on the fact that it is also a phone.
Well, yeah.
How does it perform as a phone? Well, by the way, when we're talking about a phone now, we're not necessarily talking about something you shove to your ear. We're talking about something that sends SMS and MMS and goes online and, does all those things that we routinely expect our phones to do these days.
Yeah. Those sorts of smartphone features are pretty much humdrum. All the smartphones can do it. So like any other phone, the S9 can make calls, it can take calls, it can send text messages, it can send multimedia messages, it can get onto the various social media networks, it can play games with ease, I might add, because it's got a hell of a processor.
That's right, I forgot you're a bit of a gamer.
Yeah, of course, I mean, that's what computers are great
I know,
at.
but I tend to think you're doing that in a big computer screen, mate, with multiple joysticks and blowing stuff up.
Well, yeah, that's one way I play games. But if I can carry a little game system in my pocket, and if I've got a few minutes while I'm waiting for the doctor or waiting for something to happen, I'm going to whip out the phone and play a couple of rounds of Hearthstone or Candy Crush or whatever. I'm going to find ways to entertain myself. And the S9 does it without breaking a sweat. It has got bucket loads of power. But what I really like about playing games on this is the audio quality is great.
Yep.
It's got a really loud speaker.
Actually, it was funny because you were playing back to me a little movie you'd made on the beach. Ben's also, one of his other passions is he's a surf lifesaver in the northern suburbs, puts a fair bit of time at the beach, especially at this time of the year. And you'd taken lots of pictures around the beach with the boats. You'd taken a couple of pictures of the nippers going through their training. You'd done the whole bit.
Yes.
But what amazed me was you had music to this. And even with the phone, I could hear the sound quality was really good. And I thought, if we had one of those wireless speakers that we could have just dropped on the table, how good would that have sounded?
It would have sounded pretty good. It would have sounded really good. Now, the sound is one thing, but what I also like is the screen. The screen, it's 20% brighter than the Galaxy S8. And 20% makes up a lot when you're at this end of the spectrum. It is
I was looking at the screen
bright.
and it really struck me. And you use the term brightness. I'm going to use the term sharpness.
Yes, the sharpness and clarity also is amazing. So it's a very high definition screen. And well, look, since we're talking about high definition, the other thing that's very high definition is the camera. Now, this is only the Galaxy S9, not the S9 Plus. So it's got about half the resolution or half the optical features that the S9 Plus has. So the S9 is a dual sensor. The the S9 Plus is dual sensor. The S9 is a single sensor, but it's still got a dual aperture system, so it works well in low light as well as it does in nice bright daylight. So it handles those situations very well, and it's just a very, very nice camera. So you've also got lots of nice little toys like selective focus. You'll see this if you go to my website, benaylett.com. I've posted a few photos up there as well. And the selective focus, you can have something in the foreground nice and sharp, and then everything in the background is just artistically blurred out. And it looks really, really nice.
But what I did notice was some of the stuff like these photos you'd taken, everything was sharp.
Yes.
Front to back. And I was looking at stuff in the background. And even the detail, you'd taken some really nice pictures of the ocean foaming over the rocks.
Yeah, the slow
motion.
motion.
And the detail of the foaming was just amazing.
Yeah, the slow motion was really something else. Now, I do have a little bit of a gripe about the slow motion, as great as it is, but I'll get that out of the way first. It's almost like a feature on rails. So you can have a fully automatic slow-mo feature or an auto slow-mo feature or a manual slow-mo feature, but each of them can only capture around about 6 seconds worth of slow-motion footage playback, because we're talking 960 frames per second, which is insanely fast for a phone. I think the only other phone, modern ones these days, we're looking at around about 240 frames per second.
Yep.
This is 960. So
the ability to slow it down is quite
really
remarkable.
Really something else.
All right. Hello, Andrew.
Hi, Ben. How you going?
Very well, Andrew. What's up, mate?
I've got an industrial yard where I park my trucks in Wangara, and I've put a CCTV system on my trucks at night time.
Yeah.
But in Wangara, the phone lines are crap. I want to know if I could get away with a 4G Telstra modem mobile and what sort of data I could expect to be using.
Ooh, okay. Video chews up lots of data. CCTV probably not as much as your Netflix streaming, but it still chews up a fair bit than you'd normally expect. Now, when you say you use this CCTV, so you're monitoring it 24/7 on your phone?
No, we drop in and out just to check the, different times in night and day. It's not a constant feed. We can come in and out, but we've done the speed test and it's just Wangara's got crappy phone lines.
Yeah,
ASL.
yeah, I know the area, and yes, the services there, they do kind of fall short as far as speed goes. So I commiserate with you there, mate. Going to 4G just to drop into the CCTV server, look at some footage or see what's happening right now, and then dropping out again, so 5-10 minutes at a time. I think 4G should be enough.
Not even.
Not even that, yeah.
It's just a matter of just checking on things, that's all.
Yeah, I think your 4G should be enough to do that, so that should be fine. I wouldn't be too concerned about that, because that will give you the performance. But just as long as you're not trying to download buckets and buckets of video, you should be good.
One other question for that is, because it's on mains power and someone can come and flick the switch, what size uninterrupted power supply could I look at to buy just to run the NVR?
All right, well, first off, there's an easier way to say that everyone understands. It is UPS.
Or UPS.
Yep.
UPS, yes. And the size of the UPS will be determined quite a bit by a couple of things. One, how much power, how much power your CCTV system pulls down, and that includes your like the device that powers all the cameras as well as the recording device itself, and also how long you want to cater for. So if you want to go for 5 minutes, that's obviously going to need a lot less power than if you wanted half an hour worth of battery backup power.
Yeah.
So it will mean sitting down, working out a few sums. And look,
half an hour worth of battery backup shouldn't be that much of a big deal.
Well, it really depends on how much power you're
30 years ago, I worked at a radio station with a UPS that could easily run 30 minutes on backup.
Oh, yeah. It's possible. It's just down to how many dollars you want to spend and what sort of outage you want to cater for. Look, you're more than welcome to give me a call tomorrow, and we can work out the power consumption of all the gear that you've got there and how many minutes you want to go for, and we should be able to work out a UPS that should fit the job.
All right, and I did like your video clip on that wheel on the Samsung TV, on the Samsung phone when you did that burnout.
Yeah, That's actually one of the better clips. I really, really like that one. So anyone who's wondering what we're talking about, just go onto YouTube and search for my name, Ben Aylett, and you'll see my latest video is pretty much a compilation of all the slow-mo stuff I managed to gather in about a weekend of playing down on the beach.
Good stuff. Thanks very much for that, Andrew. By the way, if you'd like to have a chat to Ben, 92211882 is the telephone number. His website, where you'll find all of his contact information, is benaylett.com. 1 L, 2 T's in Aylett, benaylett.com. But if you'd like to have a chat to him right now, 92211882, the number.
6 p.m.
On 882 6PR, this is Perth Tonight with Chris Ilsley.
Yes, Ben Aylett, our IT man, is with us. 92211882 if you'd like to have a chat to Ben. Right now, though, he's more excited than you could imagine with his Samsung Galaxy S9.
Yep.
And if you're viewing online, he's showing it to you right now.
That's right.
In all its spectacular glory, and he's really happy. By the way, does it have one of those 3.5mm phone jacks?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it does. It's got the 3.5mm jack, so that has stuck around. You can still whack your old headphones in there, or if you've got one of the cars with those auxiliary cords, no problems. You can pop that in and it'll work fine.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't like the fact, for example, that the iPhones don't have them.
Yeah. Yeah, it
was one of those things that maybe arguably in the future nobody's going to have any sort of jack because everything will be wireless. But I can't help but think that maybe the gun was jumped a little bit there.
Well, partially the gun was jumped, but also the reasoning behind them dumping the jack was to make room for better audio quality. And I don't know, the Galaxy S9's got good audio quality.
The Galaxy S9's got hi-fi audio. I could not believe I could hear
Dolby.
it. I could hear the frequency response. I thought, you're kidding me. That's coming out of the phone?
Yeah, that's right. And also to make it water resistant, which it is. It's already water resistant to IP68, which means you can submerge it in up to half a metre of water.
Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that. I mean, seriously.
30 minutes.
Even watches that people say are waterproof, our friend Gunter Best, who is without doubt one of the most premier watch people in the world, in my opinion, says you never have something that's truly waterproof. What you do is you create something that in real terms is water resistant.
Yes, it's water resistant to...
You wouldn't go swimming with it, would you?
Actually, I think it's 1.5 metres for 30 minutes.
Okay.
But, that's really cool. So when it came to me getting that video of the boat, I could wade out to the water up to chest deep and not worry about it. It was good.
With that phone that's
With
still
this
got a
phone.
3.5mm jack in it.
That's right, yes.
Yeah.
That phone.
G'day, Craig.
How you going?
Good, mate.
I was playing around with my phone and I thought I was doing the right thing and I lost all my photographs on my mobile phone
Oh.
after 3 or 4 years, and I was a bit sad.
You would be.
And I tried various things and spoke to a few experts and couldn't get them back. On a couple of weeks ago, I was playing around with some adding on things, and I was looking at this thing where you put beards on beards or moustaches or funny things on people's faces.
Yep.
So I loaded that down. Oh, sorry, it's an app. Yeah, that's right. Okay, I'm over 50. I loaded that down.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, it's retrieved all of my old photographs.
Huh. Okay. That's interesting. Right, and you're calling to ask why?
Why?
Yeah, okay.
How? I went to the app, different app places, and tried retrieve photographs. No luck. I spoke to some people in the city of Perth, and they said, no, we've had a look, we can't do it. Yet this put a beard on a face is able to retrieve the photographs.
Yeah, that's a good one. There's a lot of sort of conditions to this. So when you deleted it, you probably just moved it to another folder that you couldn't see anymore.
No. I went into the system.
Yep.
And I'm a bit paranoid about bugs, and I'm a bit paranoid about other things. And I thought I'd got rid of a whole lot of stuff. I gave my phone to 2 different places in Perth City.
Yep.
And the 2 different lots of experts couldn't get it back.
Okay. Now, what sort of a phone is it, just out of interest?
I've got a Samsung 8.
Right. Galaxy
So
S8.
not the latest one that you might have,
No, not
the
many people do.
previous
Yeah.
model.
Okay. So the S8...
it's 7.
7. Okay. So the S7, like many other Android phones, is connected to your Google account. And there is a chance that when you set up your phone with the Google account, it also sets up Google Photos or an equivalent service, and it saves your photos and all the other things that you do up to Google, to the cloud. So there is...
No, I've never done the cloud.
Well, you may not think that you've done it, but when you get your Google account signed up and you use it to set up your phone, it does a lot of stuff in the background without us knowing. Well, without us actually having to do things. So I reckon if you were to jump on a web browser, so get on your computer, jump on the internet and go to photos.google.com or drive.google.com, I think you might be pleasantly surprised because you'll see a whole bunch of photos up there. I have a feeling that's what's going to happen. And
so can you repeat that again?
Okay. So you go to photos.google.com or drive.google.com. So that's Google Photos and Google Drive. And I think you might find a lot of your photos and files and things that you thought were missing, they might magically appear there.
Good stuff. Thank you very much for that, Craig. We'll take some more calls in a moment. Ben Aylett's here. We said 1L, 2 T's in Aylett. BenAylett.com is the website. That's where you'll find all of the information you could be looking for.
G'day. check at a clinic near you. It only takes 15 minutes. Search for Breast Screen WA online or call 13 20 50. Authorised by the State Government, Perth.
The idea of trying to build...
On 882 6PR, this is Perth Tonight with Chris Ilsley.
All right, Ben, 9221 882. By the way, the phone that Ben is so in love with
Yep.
is a Samsung Galaxy S9. Yeah, if you're viewing online, he's showing it to you. Wonderful. Does all the usual features. I take it all your apps, like your banking apps and all that, run on there.
Yeah. It's running the latest, the latest version of Android available to the Galaxy phones.
I have to confess to being an Android man myself, always have been.
Yeah.
I'm not one of these Johnny-come-latelys. I always have been, and you're my witness. Hello, Mary.
Hello, Chris. And hello, Mr. Other Man.
Ben.
I don't know you. Hello.
Hey, Mary.
Tell me, is it going to cost an awful lot of money, and where do I take it to get the grandchildren's iPad to charge? It stopped charging.
Okay. iPad and iPhone repairs are typically a little bit expensive, but what I'd suggest, if I'd go down to the Apple Store, so the proper Apple Store in the city, and also I think there's one in Garden City as well, and ask them about repairs, get a quote, and then you could also check out those little kiosks you see around shopping centres where they do phone repairs. Have a chat to those guys as well and see if you can get a price on that. Now, keep in mind that when you go to an Apple store, you're getting the genuine article, so you're getting the real deal, and it's guaranteed to work. With the little kiosks, they might use parts that are not really genuine, or there just might be some differences there. It might be cheaper, but it's cheaper for a reason. So it's really up to you. Just toss up whether it's going to be worth your while, and again, how much it's going to cost on each one. So there's your two options. You can go to your Apple store, or you can go to those little kiosks you see around the shopping centres.
Okay. Do you know, is it going to cost a lot of money, or is it just cheaper to buy a new second-hand one?
A second-hand iPad could be the way to go, but keep in mind it's second-hand, and it's probably already seen a bit of life taken out of it. So it's probably already been recharged a few times. That's the thing with batteries. You can charge them up and then recharge. Sorry, you can recharge and then run them down a few times, but they do have a finite life. So the chemicals inside the batteries actually do become depleted as you're charging it and then running it down. So
if it's the battery and it just won't charge, are batteries expensive for the iPad?
Oh, look, off the top of my head, I'm not really too sure. You will have to check into the Apple Store and just to get a quote.
And may I make a suggestion also? Because one thing Apple is so love of is their proprietary stuff.
Yep.
The other people who are worth checking, get a price. Then I'd contact Battery World and say, do you have a battery that suits the iPad? If they do, I'd get a price from them too.
Yeah, but then it's the fun of actually replacing the battery. If we're talking the internal battery, iPads are not easy to work on, and most modern electronics these days are not easy to work on. Main reason being is that they don't use screws anymore, nowhere near as much as they used to. Everything is glued together, so taking it apart is tricky, and putting it back together is even trickier.
Yeah.
Ask the question. Thank you for that, Mary. Ask the question. We'd be intrigued to know what the price would be. Very intrigued.
Yeah.
G'day, Norman.
Good day, Chris. Good day, Ben.
G'day,
Mate,
Norman.
I've got a laptop.
Yep.
About 8 years old now, so it's
Oh,
getting a
well
bit
done.
long. Yeah, well, you did well. But the scratch pad stopped working.
Yep.
So the pointer's not doing anything.
Uh-huh.
So, okay. So I bought a new one.
Yep.
Well, I did have a backup then. I did backup doing the Windows, restore and backup on an external drive.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got a new one now with Windows 10.
Nice.
Can I? It didn't seem to recognise it when I plugged it in to my backup sort of drive. Didn't seem to recognise it.
Huh. Okay.
Well, it actually did. It came up with it, but it wouldn't actually restore it. Is it possible to restore the data from, I think it was probably Windows 7 to Windows 10? Would that be possible to do it off an external drive?
I'd expect so. It really depends on the software you were using. So if it was the backup software that came with Windows 7, that
too hard for me, mate.
Yeah.
I like the S9, what you're talking about, but I haven't got the power to use it.
Yeah, all right.
Anyway.
Yeah, it really depends on the software that was used to do the backup, because some backup programs save that data in a special format that other programs can't read. Therefore, when you want to restore, you've got to go and buy that software again.
Yeah, what about maybe fixing up the old laptop, with just a pointer problem?
Yeah.
If I can, is that worth fixing up, and then maybe the two computers might work together, the new one and the old one?
Well, you know what's even probably a better idea is taking the hard drive out of the old laptop and putting it in a small enclosure, and then you'll be able to copy all the old files across to the new laptop, and that should work no problem.
Would that go into my external hard drive, which I've got?
I usually recommend people get an external enclosure, so it's a case that
It's
wraps around.
elements.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about like a new enclosure, not an external hard drive, but another enclosure to make your internal hard drive and the laptop an external hard drive.
Right.
I usually don't like breaking apart existing USB or external hard drives. I like to grab a new enclosure, and they're about $30 to $50. And just a little bit of time pulling the old hard drive out of the laptop, pop it into the enclosure, and then you use it like an external hard drive, and you can just pull that data off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Must be the way to go for me then.
I think
Thanks,
that
Ben.
would be the way to go. That's what I'd do.
Good on you. Thanks very much for that. And Ben,
Yes.
when's this phone going to be ready? then?
Friday. It's coming out Friday.
Comes out on Friday,
Comes
does
out
it?
on Friday. It sure does. So if anyone is interested in getting themselves a Samsung Galaxy S9 or S9 Plus, they are available in 4 colours, 64 gig and 256 gig as far as storage goes.
Yep.
And they start at $11.99. So look, they're a flagship phone. You're going to be paying for it.
Yeah, and also I would imagine that there'd be some phone, people would be buying them on. There'll be deals offered for certain phone plans and that sort of stuff.
Yep. Well, you can get them from $99 a month from Telstra. So I know what they're charging. And, at $99 a month, that's usually a heap of data included with it and all the services you want thrown in, and you're good to go.
$99 a month. Wow.
$99 a month.
Be plenty of people be prepared to pay that.
Yeah, over and over and over again. There's a reason why the telco industry is so profitable, is because there are people who love telco stuff.
Yeah, and getting their hands on the phones, and they're really going to the next level.
Yep. So March the 16th. It'll be all
Now
singing,
you mentioned
all dancing.
you've mentioned the Galaxy S9 and the S9 Plus.
Yes.
Just quickly, what are the essential differences? I take it the S9 Plus is a bit bigger.
The S9 Plus has got a bigger screen.
Yep.
It's got a bigger camera.
Yep.
So it's like a dual sensor camera. Let's see, it's got a bigger battery by about 500 milliamp hours. So it should still be able to give you a full day of use. Now, let's see, I'm just pulling it up here. Any second now, here we go. And look, it's bigger display, and it's just a really, really nice phone at the end of the day.
Beautiful. It's the Samsung Galaxy S9. As the late Big Kev was wont to say, I'm excited.
At Rural Fencing and Irrigation Supplies Maddington, you don't have to be a broadacre.